This is the 2024 Range Rover Evoque S, and in today's Vehicle Visionary video, I'm going to give you the ultimate tour. Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Today I'm at Land Rover of Shreveport, and if you happen to look at this Range Rover Evoque and say, I'd really like to have that in my garage, check out the link down in the description of the video to get started, get more information. Let's see what all we have here. We're gonna have our LED headlights. We're going to have our signature daytime running lights. You're also going to have your fog lights down here on the lower portion of the bumper. So that's going to be very helpful as far as seeing after dark. You won't have any trouble at all. And you do have your active air curtains right here. You can see the daylight through there. So that's going to help improve gas mileage. And you'll find a lot of really nice features here, such as the high pressure headlight washers. You're going to have a heated windshield. Also, the ability to have the jets are going to be heated as well. So that's going to help. If you live in a cold climate, that's a cold climate package, at least part of it. It's going to help to keep things as they should be when it's nice and cold outside and you have ice. So if you have to park outside, that can be a bit of a challenge depending on your situation. All-wheel drive is going to be standard, and let's take a quick look here at our tire and wheel setup. We're looking at 235 on our width, a 50 series sidewall, and in this particular case, these are the 20-inch wheels. Let me show you right here on the sidewall of this tire. I don't know how well it's going to show up, but you can see, hopefully see the 20 right there as far as that goes. And nothing unusual here, but this is what you're going to have on so many of these Range Rovers. In fact, I can't really show you right now because the battery tender is plugged in, but you have the deployable door handles. So when you get inside, put it into drive, these are going to go in, and that's going to again help with the gas mileage. Gives it a nice clean look. And by the way, I do want to cover one thing here. I had somebody in one of my previous videos that saw the setup right here. This is actually a battery tender. When these vehicles are in the showroom and they're sitting for a while, especially when people are opening and closing them on a regular basis, the batteries tend to get low and they need to have that charged. So there's the battery tender to keep that charged as it should be. The roof line of the Evoque obviously is going to narrow down as we get here towards the rear. You have your nice large rear roof spoiler, very nice and very sporty. And I like the clean look back here because your rear window wiper, while it is here, is concealed away within the confines of that rear roof spoiler. Our Evoque logo, I think that's a very nice finish with the gray and Range Rover up here. It stands out quite nicely. You'll also have some gray down here on the lower portion with some of the trim. You're going to have all of your parking sensors and all those great features as far as what goes on around the vehicle, depending on what you need to know as far as what's going on around you. Under the hood is the turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder. Makes 246 horsepower and 247 pounds-feet of torque. It's mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission. Let's go over here to the window sticker. I don't know how well you'll see it through this window tint, but I'll give you the numbers on MPGs. We're looking at 20 city, 27 highway, 22 combined, and 4.5 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. And if you're curious, something I like to give in my videos that not everybody gives is the gas tank size. In this case, it's 17.7 gallons. And in case you were curious about the remote, well, there it is. That's what you're going to have, all those different features, lock, unlock. You can turn your headlights on and off. And then right here, we're going to have this button that allows us to open the power tailgate and take a quick look here into the interior. Quite a bit of space here as far as this area goes. A little bit of space here on the side. We'll also have our 12-volt power outlet. There's a spare tire located underneath the floor and all the tools needed to change that. Always nice to have that peace of mind. And if you want to remove this cover, this cargo cover, it is very simple to do. That way you can take full advantage of your cargo space. And we're looking at 21.4 to 50.5 cubic feet of cargo space when we maximize everything. But there's actually a couple of different ways you can take advantage of your capabilities with those rear seats lowered. And what I'm referring to is the button right here that allows you to fold down the center seat right here and you're creating a pass-through. That could come in handy in a lot of ways. You'll still have 2 seats that are completely open right here. And one more nifty little trick that I wanted to show you right here. To get the seats to lower, you just use this release right here. Now, I wanted to show you something. You can get the seat belt out of the way like this. But if you go to put the seats back in place, they're not going to lock in place with the seat belt in that area. So let me do this. Might be kind of awkward for just a second here. I apologize. But there we go. You can see I put the seat belt back on the front of the seat, and you can hear that that snapped into place. So if you're running into that problem, that's how you fix it. And let's take a look at what your rear seat passengers are going to find. This is an ebony interior, and in case you're curious, this is Santorini black as the exterior color. The armrests are comfortable. Personally, I would like to see this area maybe be completely flat. Just makes it a little more comfortable than having your hand at that angle, but I don't know, maybe it's not a big deal for most people. You will find the gloss black trim in a few different areas and a large bottle holder right here on the doors. We could also use that as a door bin if so desired. Another common question I received, do the seats recline? They do have a little bit of recline built into them, but this is as much as you're going to get and you can't adjust that. So just out of the interest of fair reporting, that's what you have. Fold down armrest with the cup holders built in, and for you parents out there, there is your latch system located underneath the covers. Now these are removable. You'll have to keep up with those, but not necessarily a huge deal. And there is a surprising amount of space back here. Some of that will be dependent on where the front seats are located, but there is a reasonable amount of space for such a small SUV. You'll also have your panoramic sunroof. That front portion will open, and you have the shade. I didn't draw it all the way back. It actually will go all the way back to here. But you can use that to conceal away the sun when it gets really hot outside. I know this time of the year, I sure wouldn't want that much sun coming in when we're heading over 100 degrees in northwest Louisiana. And you'll need these air conditioning vents in such a case, located here in the back seat. You won't need what these two controls control, the buttons that control the heated seats. But that is there for when you do need it, or maybe you live in an area where you can use it year-round. We also have our 12-volt power outlet there in the center and a couple of USB ports. And something I don't think I mentioned earlier in the video has to do with your side view mirrors. You have the turn signal indicators built in, body-colored mirror caps. They're power adjustable, they're power folding, they're heated, and you also have your blind spot monitoring right there. And for those who have been patient and made it to this point in the video and didn't just ask in the comments section what the sticker price is, it's $56,625. Don't tell those people who ask in the comments section, although some of them are being sarcastic, which I do laugh at that. Let's see what else you get for the price. More space here with the door bin. You'll still have that angle right here that I really wish was completely flat, but you'll have a lot of controls and switches here for the power windows, the mirrors, and all those good things. And settings for seat memory, 3 right here. Here is the release for the hood if you need to open that, and you will be able to control the power tailgate right here. And we'll hop on inside and take a look at what we're going to find here. I'll go ahead and start things up. We're not going to leave it on for too long, but you do have the control right here for the power steering wheel. And I apologize for all that wind noise you had right there. I had to turn the air off real fast. So we do have our steering wheel mounted controls here that are LED lit. That's why you see that flickering effect right there. A nice, very well done, easy to deal with, and modern looking digital instrument cluster. And because the hood is open and the vehicle is low on gas, you see a couple of things right here that are flashing up as far as the indicators go. Now this model does come standard with the turn signal option. So for those of you who never knew about this and wondered what in the world is up with the arrow that's flashing up there on the instrument cluster when you do that, if you accidentally touched it one time, and you were wondering about that, well, that's what you have. You also can control the headlights and taillights right there. And over here, we can't laugh so much about this lever or say anything sarcastic about it because people tend to use that, your front and rear window wiper control. Now, you have a very clean look here as far as this area goes with your center console. You'll have quite a bit going, wireless charging, USB options, all that good stuff. You control basically everything here in the infotainment screen, including the air conditioning. So, not sure what everybody thinks about that. Some people like it, some people don't. Tell me what you think. I do like the way that the shifter works right here as far as how it feels in my hand. Fits perfectly in the palm of my hand. There's your power parking brake. You do have your cameras, your rear view cameras right here. Well, there are cameras all over the place. So depending on what you want to see, well, obviously you can see that. So easy to see what's going on around the vehicle. That's very nice. We'll go back into park right there, and we'll go over here. You're going to have all kinds of good information for the vehicle. You can turn your auto stop start on or off depending on what you want to do. We'll also be able to control our heated seats, and we can go right here and control your driving modes, because you have comfort, eco, auto terrain response, grass, gravel, and snow, sand, mud, and ruts. And you're going to see changes on the dashboard when you go into the different driving modes here, depending on what you do. I'm not going to go through every single one, but just to show you a few things that are here where all of that is concerned. Also, your built-in navigation, you can connect your phone, which is done wirelessly. You have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and all kinds of great features here to help you out. That's one thing about the Evoque. If you live in an area where you get lots of snow and ice, kind of like what I was talking about earlier with those heated windshield washer jets, that's helpful. And you have all of your different driving modes, and you obviously can do quite a few things to make it easy to get around, including seeing what's going on with the vehicle. That helps as far as the direction your wheels are turned and all that kind of stuff. It actually will show that to you on the screen. So that's a very nice feature to have. There's so much here that I literally could cover everything and make probably an hour or more video, even on a vehicle here that is so small as the Evoque is. But for those of you who are looking for something like this, well, that would work really well. We're going to have our cup holders here, and then the center console with the different lid options. You can open both at the same time or one. You also have another USB option right there. And if you want to control everything to do with your sunroof, here it is right here. This is your power shade, which, by the way, let me go ahead and draw that shade forward just for the fun of it, just so you can see what that looks like. It does do a nice job of concealing away the sun, as I mentioned earlier in the video. Now, you also have power adjustable seats for the driver and the passenger. You do have your lumbar support, so there's a lot of good adjustability there for comfort and convenience. Here is our glove box. A nice light. I don't see that in as many vehicles as I used to, but it's nice to see the light there to help make it easy to see what's going on in there when you need to reach inside after dark. Okay, here we go on the test drive. Yes, a lot of the time when I show you vehicles in the showroom at different dealerships, we don't do a test drive, but today we're going to. This isn't the same Evoque that we looked at earlier. In fact, it has a few features that one didn't. One of which being the front view and surround view camera, also your clear sight rear view mirror. So if you're wondering what's available in those areas, well, those features are available depending on trim level. And something else that might be of interest that you've likely picked up on, if you look down at the infotainment screen, you'll notice that the cameras are still on. And so they actually don't go off when you're driving. Kind of interesting to be able to see what's going on around the vehicle. Now, obviously you don't need to focus on that, but there could be situations where that's very helpful to use that feature. So depending on what you're driving around and what you need to see, well, that could be a nice option to take advantage of. Some people may wonder about the 246 horsepower and say, is that enough? Well, for me, I think it is. It does seem to do a very nice job of getting the Evoque down the road. It's very zippy as far as when you get on the pedal a little bit. The ride quality is good. It's comfortable in my opinion, so I guess it depends on what you're used to driving. That's one thing I like to bring up in my videos. I'm used to a GMC 2500, so the ride quality in that truck is a little bit on the rough side when you're not towing anything or have a lot of weight in the bed. So it doesn't take much for me to say the ride quality is smooth, but I do think it's good. The seats themselves are comfortable. You've got your steering wheel here, and you don't even need to turn on the heated steering wheel function for the steering wheel to be heated today because it's so warm here in Northwest Louisiana. Now I'm just going to kind of ease into the pedal a little bit here and get on down the road. No problems. I'm just easing into the gas pedal and not really having to push that hard to get up to speed. In fact, to get up to maybe a little more speed than I needed to get to. So that really doesn't seem to be an issue as far as accelerating up to speed goes. And something I really like about the Evoque, if you live in a very large city and it's congested, well, this is a good vehicle for such a thing because it's so small and it has a nice tight turning radius. It really is a great multitasking vehicle for multiple environments, multiple places with multiple climates maybe would be a better way to put that, because down here in Northwest Louisiana, we rarely get enough snow to concern ourselves with all-wheel drive. When it does happen, everybody wants an all-wheel drive vehicle because they find out how difficult it can be to get around in if you don't have all-wheel drive. But for those of you who live in an area where that's common, it's gonna take good care of you as far as being able to get around. It has enough ride height to where you should be okay in a lot of situations driving around when there's ruts through the snow, but the road hasn't been plowed. So that can be a bit of an interesting experience, especially if you have a sedan. So having something that's a little bit higher off the ground like this Evoque, that's a good thing as well. Overall, it's very fun to drive. Having the clear sight rear view mirror really helps out. You don't have to worry about the size of the rear window back there, but if you don't have the clear sight rear view mirror, or you just want to use it as a conventional mirror, I don't really see it as being a major issue personally. The rear window isn't so small that it causes any problems, at least not based on my experience and what I've done so far as the test drive goes. If I had a little more time with it, I might say something different. And there you go. Those are the details of the 2024 Range Rover Evoque S. Tell me what you think. Is this something you plan to buy? How are you going to spec it out in a perfect situation? Maybe you're just going to see what the dealership has where you live. If you want to know more about this exact model, remember to check out the link down in the description of the video. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends at Land Rover of Shreveport for loaning me this Evoque for the day so I can tell you all about it and take advantage of the nice, cool showroom here at the dealership while we're headed for over 100 degrees outside. I also want to say a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. Make sure to share it with your friends on social media. And if you'd like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to purchase or simply learn about, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.